Hello friends and welcome back to Figure Study, where we appreciate the style of Sentai. This will probably be the last Sentai video for a very long time because, as of right now, this is the only other Sentai set that I have, so we'll see how it goes. Two things real quick before kicking off. First off, it is good and also weird to be back. You may not notice, but it's actually been quite a while since I've recorded one of these. I recorded a bunch of stuff in advance before going on vacation a couple of weeks ago, and it's just been a while for me since I've recorded one of these, so it's a little weird to be back in the seat again. Other thing you may notice, the audio is just a touch different this time around. That is because I'm having some microphone issues. Those issues being I am lazy and just don't feel like dealing with syncing up the microphone with everything else and wrestling with Audacity and all that. So I'm just using the camera's built-in microphone, and fingers crossed this doesn't turn out like garbage. But if it does, it's a Sentai video and nobody really cares about those anyway. So, with all that out of the way, today we're taking a look at I think this guy's called Shurikenjin from Shinkenger? No. There are so many similar sounding Sentais, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's Shurikenger or Shurikenjin or something along those lines. I'm probably wrong in some capacity, and for that I apologize to any major fans of the Sentai, but I just like the toys for the most part. Except for Gokaiger. I started watching Gokaiger a couple of months ago, and it's taking me forever to get through the series, but that's a really good show. To the point where I'm probably going to get my hands on Gojujin. I think it's Gojujin, yeah. At some point I want to get my hands on Gojujin, but for now, as I said, we're looking at whatever this is called. And it's an interesting team. First, just gonna get this out of the way. This is the Shuriken, which, it's a thing. It's just a little plastic red thing that clips on this other thing. And it's fine. I'm not big on these. I actually took the batteries out because these things make noise on their own. I couldn't just turn them off. And every time I was transforming it, it was just making the noise, so that got annoying, but this is, I guess, the gimmick for the line, and it's fine. Some actual nice detail, though, molded in there. I do appreciate the fact that they molded so much in there, and there's a face, yep. Unfortunately, I bought this used off of eBay, and I did not realize when I got it, it's missing the blue shuriken ring thing. So while I will be able to transform this guy into his third form, I won't be able to do it entirely properly because I don't have the blue ring. So just a heads up. Anyway, yes, this is an interesting team. Granted, I am not an expert on Sentai in any form whatsoever, but I do think it's pretty weird how this team is made up of such an amazing, weird variety of completely disparate robots. You've got a dump truck, a train, a dragon, a sort of standard humanoid robot, and a dog. I don't really know. Like I said, don't watch the show, but it's weird. I appreciate it, but it's weird. And they all have their typical, obvious colors. You got yellow, red, pink, blue, and white, although that may be black, because aren't Sentai teams typically comprised of red, yellow, blue, pink, and either black or green? Pretty sure. Anyway, yeah, I'm not sure what color this is supposed to be exactly, but it's a dog, and it's weird. I mean, as strange as this set is, I do have to give it credit for the fact that, like, each one is very distinct. It doesn't feel like you've got a couple of very similar guys that just kind of transform in a similar fashion. Like, there's nothing similar about anything out of these five. For example, we have a little dog with the boomerang blade thing in its mouth, and it's weird, but the detailing's nice, and the paint on here is actually quite nice too. There's some gold-ish plastic on the tail, which will make more sense in robot mode, but there's some nice crisp silver on the back, and a little bit around the collar there. And then all the rest of the paint is pretty much just in the head. But it's separated nicely. I like the silver pinstriping almost. Not pinstriping, but edging around this crest here. That's a pretty fine detail. And here comes Astrid, just like, did somebody say something about fine details? Well, I guess we know what playlist this is going in. Anyway, also, the eyes look nice. I like the blue that they used for the eyes there. It's a very nice sparkly blue. So, what do you say, Astrid? Should we transform this thing as we go through piece by piece? Okay, I guess that's a yes. So, to transform this guy, it's just flipping the legs in and straightening out the head. And then that goes off to the side and we don't think about it for a little while. And since I have to straighten this guy up, might as well take a look at him next. Red, whatever his name is also fairly basic, but very nice detailing. You are just loving this, aren't you? You gonna be my backdrop? Okay. So, nice details, as I was saying. The red, white, and gold actually look really nice together. And, yes, hi. And I like that the gold is relatively sparingly used. It's pretty much just the chest and the knees, but it works. And also that you get a little bit more red in the legs, on the sides, and on the front there. Just kind of tie everything together. And then, of course, a little bit of white and everything. Nice molded details as well. You can see a little shuriken symbol in the shoulders. I'm not entirely sure if that's supposed to be colored in from the show. Hi. But nicely detailed regardless. And then the face is also pretty nice detail. Nicely painted, nice sharp paint for the silver there, and that nice blue for the eyes. And to transform this guy, just spin the arms up, bend his legs around, and spin the head so that it's going around that way. And there we've got a fist. You are just determined to get in the way for this, aren't you, honey? I think I'm going to have to adjust this camera 1 second. Okay, now we can at least look over the cat. So, pink is a train, and not a, like, this part of the train looks fine, and this part of the train not so much. I mean, the detailing's nice. The black and gold is... black and gold is always a nice color combination. It looks good with the white there. Up here, it's a bit falls apart, but that's, you know, for the transformation. And then here, you get the most molded detail. What looks to be like a little... I don't know if that's like the thing that connects to the wires above the train tracks, but if that's the case, then that's too low because that would bump into it. But it's part of the cat jawing me. And you get the little... I guess that's the cockpit or whatever you want to call it, where the driver would... Ranger would sit, Sentai would sit, which is a nice metallic green, though it doesn't match the blue of the other two that we just looked at, but that's okay. And to transform this, it's just hold up, and then there's some joints here. You just you're making this difficult, honey. And like that. And there you've got legs. I try to keep this show PG. Why are you doing this? Alright, and yellow is a dump truck, which is weird. It's so weird and fits probably the least out of all this stuff. Though the train is also weird. It's okay for a dump truck. There's not a lot going on in there, but it's fine. There is some nice molded detail, though. The color's pretty simple. You just get a little bit of yellow and gold primarily for the body, and then some black around the outside. Most of the detailing and paint is on the front, where you've got I think that's supposed to be a window, maybe. And this could be like an engine. And the grill, obviously, with some nice silver there. But yeah, pretty simple. Though I do like that they painted the rims for the tires yellow. That's also nice. And yeah, it's just a weird-looking dump truck. So, pop that off. This folds down, clips in, and these fold out. And that can kind of fold out, and that will make kind of a seat. You want to climb in? I'll have to ask her later. So there's that. And then the front of the dump truck, it's pretty simple, but still effective. You fold this in, that kind of snaps into place there, and the fist rotates. And I also like how with this, you can see there's like a little bit of gold there. When you rotate it, it lines up and actually completes that circle. That is a cool detail that they didn't need to do, but they totally did. And this wheel folds in. I kind of wish that this did something, like maybe tuck around this side a little bit more. I mean, when you're looking at it from here, it's fine. It still works as an arm with details that we'll get into when we're in the combine mode, but this is just a little annoying. Anyway, as for the last piece, which isn't probably the last piece, but it's the last one I'm looking at, it is a dragon, which is also weird. It's all weird. This whole thing is weird, but you know, it has the kind of gold trim motif that really has the gold trim motif that a lot of the other things have going. Little emblem on the inside there, and of course some nice molding, like scales for the tail, some kind of bits on the wings there. It's a little dusty. That's entirely my fault. I'm sitting on a shelf for a while because it's taken me forever to decide to do this. And as per usual, the head is the most detailed section with the most paint, most molding. The dragon has some nice red for the eyes there. But again, I really like the crispness of that silver paint. Some of the gold, too. They did a really good job painting this set. Truth be told, I'm not super fond of this set on its own, but I can definitely appreciate just how well they stayed in the lines when they were painting this thing. So, to transform this guy, I'm just going to pop off the wings, and they clip in right here. Pop those off, and pop off the tail, which clips in right there. And then he's pretty much just gonna do this. Now, the reason I've been transforming things this way and not the other way is because I'm starting with the, I guess you could call it a bonus mode first. So, I'm gonna put this together to attach the legs. You got the feet facing forward, and that just slides in right there. And to disengage it, you just pull that up because it locks it in place. So, got that. And give the legs a little bend. Right? I think it leans forward like that. Pretty sure that's how it goes. Yeah. Then the tail actually clips on here, and the wings, you can see there are these little nubs here that these will clip onto. There we go. All right. And now we take the dragon, and these clips here will clip in back there. Well, these aren't clips, but you know what I mean. So just shove them in and clip them in place. And then these controls just kind of, just go around this way. Just kind of put the hands over the controls there. So now it's like he's piloting the thing. And then red guy clips here. The other part of yellow clips here. I also completely forgot about the dog because the dog is so unnecessary for everything, but the dog just slides into this void on the train there. That fills in the leg. It just, It just seems like an unnecessary bit. Like, all things considered, I feel like the dog got the short end of the stick. Lastly, for this thing, you normally would put on the blue shuriken bit, and that has like this top is like a dragon head, and then if you notice there are little teeth on the sides of the face here, and you would fold that forward and that would make a dragon face. And then this square rectangular bit here would clip on top of the dragon's head, and then you would have this kind of weird, well, kind of nothing, this extremely weird looking combined dragon form, which this looks dumb even with the proper thing attached, even with the blue bits. It does look very dumb, but it's still neat. I can appreciate the fact that they actually built a couple of different combine modes into this guy. I do think that's cool. Getting to the proper robot mode, there are buttons on the dragon's cheeks. You just push those in and that will, like, this thing will practically fall off when you push them in, but that moves those, removes the tension, so you can pop this off, and we'll just do that. And it's not a whole lot else to do from here. Just pop off the tail, pop off the wings, straighten out those legs, and pull out the dragon. Push that down and take this guy off. And now the dragon actually folds up, and the arms come up and this bit folds out, and that creates its own fist, which is great. The only thing that sucks is the screw holes are facing out. I don't know why they did this. I don't know why they couldn't have made it so that the screw holes were facing the other direction. Because when you put them on there, then you've got screw holes, and I don't like the screw holes. Anyway, I take the wings, which were like this, and they clip together up here now. And that makes a shield, which is pretty cool. And these two circular bits plug in right there. That gives him an arm shield. The sword goes into the hand, as you do. And lastly, almost lastly, we've got this guy, where we turn him around, and we'll leave the arms partially up. And with the legs, just kind of put him into a sitting position. He still has a fist between his knees, but whatever. And clips in the same way as the dragon, like so. And then it's just a matter of lining these up so that he grips onto the, there we go, swing around that way. So that he grips onto the little controls, and there it looks like he's piloting the thing. And then this, you got two things there, they'll clip in at the top there. And this is where it would usually play some really annoying music, but it doesn't because I took the batteries out, because I couldn't make it turn off. So there we have Shurikenjin, I believe. Pretty sure. Fairly sure. And this guy's okay. I don't dislike messing with the set. It's very solidly made, very nice detailing, but I'm not super into the aesthetic of Shurikenjin himself. I think it's kind of funny in an amusing way how you've got a robot sitting inside of a larger robot driving it. It's pretty silly in a way that I like, but I'm just not super into the aesthetic of this particular set. That said, like I mentioned, just the detailing is very nice. I really, really like, weirdly enough, the detailing on the knees here, where you've got this like gold trim, well, goldish trim, because it's plastic and not paint, but like the gold trim with these little red, almost lantern-looking decos. And here, that bit for the dog tail totally matches up there. And that I do think is pretty cool, how as pointless as the dog is, shape-wise, it actually ends up coming off as a not super dissimilar from the pink shin. And of course, you get some molded detail in the thighs, some of those details in the arms. And I also like how, different though they may be, the design for the shoulders in both the dragon and the yellow bit are actually pretty similar, where you've got this red seal kind of in the middle there, and then the gold trim going around and up. And then for the chest area, it's just the red guy, and then you've got the face. And the face is fine. It's not particularly compelling, but it's fine. It's a nicely painted silver face with green eyes, which is a little weird, because the only other mecha in this whole thing with green is pink. Don't know why they decided to carry that over, but it works. I mean, I imagine color-wise, blue may not have worked as well, but I don't know, I think they could have gone with blue. Regardless, the actual design of the face is just kind of meh to me. It just looks like, you know, generic humanoid robot silver face with green eyes, and then this red bit on the outside, and then black framing around that. But the paintwork is very nice. And yeah, it's just kind of not my aesthetic, I guess. Not unfun to play with, and very, very well made. I mean, the quality on this is good. It feels really solid. The paint, like I said, very nice, very crisp. It's just this particular individual is not really doing it for me. But we are not done with Shurikenjin, by which I mean the toys and whatever. Let's get him out of the way here, because I just so happen to also have a Bison King. And I will tell you all right now, right up front, spoilers, etc., Bison King is very much more my aesthetic. I really like this guy. Now, he's, instead of being 5 parts, basically 2 parts. You've got this awkwardly posed, slightly awkwardly proportioned blue and gold guy. I think his name is Rodeo Maru. But this guy looks kind of silly. But I mean, I do have to say, silly though he may be, I really like the quality of this guy overall. Like, the molding is really nice. There's a lot of really nice detail in, like, the legs here, like the shins, the knee pads, the thighs, that chest. Really nice molding. Where there is paint, it's very nice too. Just very nice crisp gold paint for the shins. And I think that's actually gold plastic for the hands. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's gold plastic. But then nice gold paint for the chest there. And then, of course, the nice crisp paint on the face. Now the face, I think the face looks good, but I personally would like it more if that was like a covered faceplate and you didn't see the nose and the mouth, but whatever. Still, looks good. And the gold on the light blue definitely looks good. The silver and the red in there also work really well. And this guy can actually sit in the Shurikenjin, which actually, for the sake of thoroughness, I should probably do this, right? This is what people like to see normally. The play pattern. Doesn't look any less silly. The turquoise doesn't really match the color scheme, but that's not really what this guy's for anyway. So, get him back in here real quick. I'm sorry, honey, is this boring you? Alright, so with that rambly bit out of the way, we'll just get him into the driver's seat. So, get him all bent, and then these will actually clip up here. Pull this over so you can kind of see what I'm doing. That will clip down, clip down, clip down. There we go. There we go. And now he's sort of kind of driving the, I think this is called the Bison buggy. And this thing looks ridiculous. I mean, that's kind of the point. It's just a kind of a weird 4-wheeled thing with a big bull head on the front, and that is about it. And of course, if you look at it from the bottom, it is painfully obvious what this is going to do, but not bad. I think the colors work well. You know, the brown, white, red, gold. This bit on the inside here kind of pulls off a sort of, looks a little bit like an engine, which is cool. And yeah, not a whole lot to say about this mode, but I have a lot more to say about Bison King. So to get him transformed, just going to pop this off somehow. Come on. Come on. There we go. Pop that off. Pop this bit off. And this entire bit will come off as well. I'll go off to the side. And this just kind of unhooks and clicks out. And it doesn't really click, like it doesn't hook in hard. It's just like kind of sits over that. So do that. Split these brown bits will fold down, click into place, and move the wheels in. There we go. And you can pretty easily see where this is going. From there, you've got a couple of things on the top there and some clips there. That just settles into place. This folds down. And this, I guess, show-wise, it's supposed to stick out, but that looks really dumb, so I just do that and then curl the legs up to get them out of the way, make the back more flush. And then this folds that out, and this clips onto the shoulders. There we go. And then this is now a gun that goes in there. And there we have Bison King. And Bison King is much more my aesthetic. This looks a little bit less disjointed than Shurikenjin. It's a more cohesive color scheme. The turquoise, which looks a bit out of place, is just kept to the head, and in a way that works better because it makes the robot shoulders look less like shoulders, which is weird because you could still see the hands there, but I don't know. I just like it better. I like the red for the wheels being kept to pretty much just the shoulders and the very bottoms of the feet. And I really like what they did with the cowboy motif here, where he's got the kind of gold tassels for the knees and the shoulders, and then little bits of gold here and there throughout. It's just a neat looking cowboy robot with a somewhat looking a somewhat looking vehicle mode, but still, this looks really cool. I very much like this. And actually, while he's here, let's bring in Shurikenjin so you can see the two of them together. And about the same height. Shurikenjin's face is a little higher, but I feel like Bison King looks a bit more imposing. He's just stockier, has the wider shoulders. I don't know, it's weird. Like, I think what bothers me aesthetic-wise with Shurikenjin, Shurikenjin, is the fact that despite the fact that both of these are designed by a Japanese company, this guy's aesthetic makes me think more of like the tacky decorations you'd see inside of a kind of standard Chinese restaurant in America, which, if you're not familiar, that's not real Chinese food they're serving. It's Americanized Chinese food, totally different thing. But yeah, this just kind of, it seems like they're trying too hard to reach a certain aesthetic. Whereas with Bison King, I know they're trying too hard to reach a certain aesthetic, but like this is the kind of aesthetic that lends itself to trying too hard. Because this is like glitzy Roy Rogers cowboy, but that's actually a thing and that actually works. This, I don't know. This may have, and probably does have, more of a background and history to it design-wise, but I'm not familiar with that background and history, and it just does not appeal to me in the same way that Bison King does. Now, with all that complaining out of the way, let's do some size comparisons real quick, because I forgot to do that before. And there you can see the Power of the Primes Deluxe and Amiibo, and they're big. They're essentially Megazords, so of course they're big. And just because there's Bison King, and by extension, more or less Shurikenjin, with the Shogun Megazord, which, as I've said before, is sort of my default Megazord as far as size goes, so yeah, they're about that size. Not to say that the Shogun Megazord is badly built or anything like that, but like the plastic on this guy feels a lot denser and a lot sturdier, so I guess you could call that progress. And bringing Shurikenjin back in one more time, now we can take a look at the final, well, not final, at the midway combine mode, I guess. We will not be looking at the final combine mode because I do not have Lion Ha-Oh and I do not want Lion Ha-Oh. That thing is ugly and way too big. Not the good kind of ugly. Anyway, to get these guys ready, just gonna have to basically rip them both apart completely, so be right back. Alright, so now everything is in adequate pieces. There's Astrid. And let's go ahead and make ourselves a big honkin' robot thing. So, I'll start with the feet. So, legs, they just straighten out. These bits come out to the all the way to the back here, because this is the buggy mode. So, do that, pull that back, and that is that. Same thing here. Fold it around, fold that back, straighten that out, and then this bit here actually folds in to make this flat. And now, just in case you forget, there are symbols here. So there's pink and silver-ish. So that shows you what sides these go on. And that corresponds to the legs here, so those just clip on like so. To give him shoes. And it's really silly. But when is it not silly? Alright, shoes are in place. Now, before getting too much further, I'm going to take this piece, and there are two clips back here that will... Hi. that will, clip... You really doing this right now? You have to do this now? They clip onto the butt there, and these kind of cradle the hips. So when you clip that in place, that just keeps the hips stable. This bit, right here, will, you can see the clips, or the posts, whatever there, will clip on the top. And that was entirely off camera. Just a bit, and this clips right on top. Okay, let's move on to the arms. So, I'm going to take the left arm and the left arm. Use the left? Yes, left. And this little tassel bit here will go into the dragon's fist. Like so. The arm for Bison King will actually fold all the way back. And then this connector, which I thought this was really cool, the connector for the shoulder actually comes down, and now it is a fist, and it acts as an arm extension. And this clips onto the top, not the original Shurikenjin joint, but like up here. So, put that in. And you can already kind of see how this is starting to turn into a somewhat humanoid-ish shaped robot thing. And now, do the same thing with this arm. Tassel, fist, plug it in, bend that up, bend that, or pull that out, and plug that on. Alright, almost done. I'm gonna take this, and these will actually plug together. There we go. And then this comes back apart, and these attach to the sides. It makes this really weird, kind of dumb looking thing, but whatever. It's what they want. So that goes in there. Leave the arm up. Gotta readjust one more time. Now, I'm gonna take this guy and clip him onto the shoulders of Rodeo Maru, I believe. Can't remember, never remember if that's his name. That clips on there. The bullhead, this bit here actually straightens out and clips over the top of the shuriken there, so that will clip on. Like so. And then last, this guy clips on top here. And clip on top. Come on, clip on top. There we go. And finally, this panel flips up to fill in the face and give a much bigger, more cohesive robot face. And that, my friends, is King Shurikenjin, I do believe. And this thing is quite tall and pretty dumb. Not gonna lie. It is pretty dumb. Like, he's got the big, awkward-looking booties and this big, awkward-looking hat. Truth be told, though, I actually really like this combination. And this is the whole reason I got Shurikenjin and Bison King. I mean, I like Bison King on his own, but this combination I actually like a lot. It's a lot of different things, like the different elements coming together, the different colors. I like the way a lot of this stuff integrates together, like how you've got the silver pipes for Bison King that are painted that kind of, they don't match, but like that level of detail just kind of works with the regular Shurikenjin arms. The feet are just kind of whatever, but you don't really look at the feet that much anyway. The hat is definitely something. I mean, it sticks out quite a bit. That is unfortunate. It just kind of, it goes up too high and goes out too far. But when you're looking at it from the front, I think it's fine. The thing that I really like about this combination is really in the chest and face area here. I like how all of this works together, how the gold from Bison King, while it doesn't quite match the yellow and gold from Shurikenjin, it does work together. So this kind of all works as one big piece. You get a little bit of brown and black in there that kind of works with the arms. And then I really like this fan design here, which, yes, granted, these two elements are from Bison King, so it makes sense they would work together. But I still really like how that creates this fan design, and then you've got the little star there. Like, these elements right here, I think, work with the combination of like the cowboy and the, I don't know, it's just the star kind of makes me think cowboy and the fan makes me think the other thing. A little bit. It's not quite the same, but it works. And the face also. I just think that face looks a lot nicer than the standard faces for either. And I also like how there's this cut here, which you can see when I fold it down. There's that V cut in the forehead, which integrates with the shuriken on the top there. And it actually completes the look, and that's pretty cool. And of course, I like the colors in here too, like that metallic red, metallic green, silver, and gold. It's all really, really nice. And this is just a neat, silly, but in a good way, combination. You even get a little bit of the tassels up there. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, you get like the tassel design, you get the sort of fake shoulders and fingers, you get the fan, you get the star, but then you also get this sort of scale texture. And it pulls a lot of different elements from the combined modes together. I like that. And of course, the bull horns up here with the crest, you get a sort of shuriken design here, and then like flames that are actually molded in there. It's pretty cool. It's a very weird design, but I like it quite a bit. The weapon is dumb, though. Now pulling everything out for size comparisons, because we are not done with those yet. Let's just take care of all of them at once. And you can see King Shurikenjin is quite tall. Quite quite tall, and not just because of the booties, which I do appreciate, because sometimes most of the height is in those booties with some of these combinations, but no. He goes from like the head being here to all the way, like the top of the head being around here to all the way up there. Like the shoulders change position. They actually gets like he gets a wider, like his shoulders space out more. I really like how this combination keeps the core the same, but at the same time drastically changes the silhouette by actually changing the proportions of the humanoid shape inside of all that. It's an interesting combination. Now, this is ordinarily where I'd pull out Unite Warrior's Devastator to do a comparison, but Devastator's kind of on a shelf behind a lot of other combiners that I don't really feel like shifting around to reach. So, we're going to use the next best thing, and that is Power of the Primes Predaking. Yeah. He's coming. Trust me, he is coming. But, yeah, there you can see, funny enough, despite the head being lower than Predaking's chest, if you count to the top of the hat, this guy is almost as tall. Almost. The plastic at least goes up that high. So, yeah, King Shurikenjin is almost as tall as Devastator and Predaking. Anyway, that is, I do believe, going to do it for now for Shurikenjin, King Shurikenjin, Bison King, and all of that stuff. Like I said, not a big fan of Shurikenjin on his own, though I do think that the quality is there in terms of the detailing, the paint, and the plastic and all that. But Bison King, definitely good as a standalone, and as a combined form, these guys are definitely a lot of fun too. But enough about what I think. What do you all think? Any of you out there have Shurikenjin, Bison King, King Shurikenjin, or have you gone with the, I think Ninja Steel is the Power Rangers version, right? And I think it's the, what is it, the Bull Rider Megazord and the, I don't know what this whole thing is called, but the, the US version, Bandai America version of this. I know that it's different. Just curious, if you have that, what are your thoughts on that as well? Whatever you think, feel free to comment down below. I always enjoy hearing from you all. And while you're at it, also feel free to like or subscribe. Any of those would make me a happy Rob, and we are past 750 subscribers. That's pretty darn cool. Was not expecting to get past 100, so it's been gravy for the past 2 years. But thank you all again, and remember, art is more than meets the eye.